Let's come into Sphinx to start this afternoon, or this whatever time it is. Welcome. So come into Sphinx. You can glide and slide your elbows forward, shoulder distance apart. Let your legs be as wide as your yoga mat. And just take a couple breaths to really relax and let everything be a slave to gravity. So it takes you probably a couple breaths to make the small adjustments, the wiggles, the shaking your hips maybe. And then you can even make some faces and relax your face, like, like all those silent screams you kept in today. All your scary faces that you controlled while you were on Zoom. Maybe frown or smile or wiggle your jaw around, or that's a nice addition. You can also just rub your face. And then maybe let your shoulders come up into your ears and drop them down. Even in this pose, you might have to come forward like one of those little bobbing head thingies, like one of those little turtles. And then wiggle your hips side to side a little bit. And then get a little bit more still. Noticing just the smells in the room. Or noticing how someone's yoga mat looks exactly like their kitchen floor. Gonna get you to smile, just you wait. In this neck of the woods today, we woke up to rain. It was so nice and so needed. You can nearly picture the little flowers or the leaves like opening up and just drinking in the rain. And just take a couple moments and notice what would be like rain for you. What are you thirsting for? And we get to be so complete that we can be yearning for something, we can be suffering something, we can be thirsting for something, and still be fine. Still be okay. And when that thirst or that yearning or that thing, the one you notice changes, there'll be some other desire or wish or deep need that you have. We want to notice that it's not because of weakness that we suffer. And it's not because of a lacking that we want. We've been so well educated at putting things, everything, into little categories. Good or bad, happy or sad, right or wrong. that we imagine the immensity and the complexity of our innermost feelings should also fit into those neat little categories. And then slowly lower down to the yoga mat. You can either wiggle your butt or jump up and put some bread in the oven, whatever it is that you need to rebound for a couple of moments. Maybe shake your legs side to side. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and just shift your hips back to your heels. Just for a moment, linger in child's pose. And then rise up, cross your ankles, roll over your crossed ankles, and stretch out into dragonfly. So you want to take your legs wide. You might have to adjust if you have space to reach your heels out. If you need to, you can sit on a book or blocks, and this just lifts up your pelvis, giving you more length in your hamstrings. Now we're going to come into this actively, and then we're going to soften. So while I'm actively coming into this, I actually engage my legs, and then I walk my hands a little bit forward, and then I see if I can lift my chest up and pull my chest through my arms, wiggle my butt cheeks back, and then walk my hands forward. And then see if I can do the same thing, being active in the legs, lifting your chest, wiggling your butt back, and then coming all the way down, wherever that is for you. If nothing else, just drop your chin to your chest. Allow your body to soften. Allow your attitude to soften maybe a little bit. So one of my intentions with my own yoga practice is that I practice integration in my yoga. So I don't want to leave anything out, kind of. So like I have bad feelings, I have good feelings, I have some good ideas, I have some bad habituated ideas. I bring kind of all of it onto the yoga mat. So I feel like the work that we have individually is very similar to the same work we have in our communities, and is very similar to the same work we have in the whole world. And it's really this bringing together and this integration instead of this habitual separation and division. We can honor duality for how it engenders life. The tension between polarities is creative, and things can come to be that wouldn't be able to be born without these polarities. You know, a lot of creation stories are built from polarities like fire and ice, earth and water. But it never stays at that duality. It always has a dynamic enough relationship that a third element is born. To really congregate and keep things fixed in duality without the development or creativity of other things being born from the duality is what keeps people and things and keeps things in little boxes. keeps things separated. So we want to keep lifting up, not the duality. That is so common, but lifting up what the duality makes, what the polarity can bring to life, if it's allowed to interact and integrate, play off each other. And then with your inhale, roll up. Now, before you bend your legs and retract them in, you were going to do a little Mula Bandha exercise here. And so you might have to bend your knees a little bit. I want you to just roll forward a little bit. So for women, I don't know what it's like for men, but it's probably very similar. We can talk later, babe. But for women, you want to feel your on the ground. So, whatever it is that you're feeling, that's what you want to be feeling. And then take a full inhale, and with your exhale, see if you can contract your perineum and actually lift up off the floor. So try it out a couple times. So you're not going to see much going on over here, but you want to feel that you're contracting your perineum and trying to lift it up towards, kind of the crown of your head. That's a very extreme direction. But that's really the orientation that we have of it. So try it a couple more times. You will notice that engaging your feet is how to activate it. It's really hard to activate your perineum without really flexing your toes and stretching the balls of your feet out. Very nice. Good question. You want to activate it so it's a gentle activation, but the concentration is so specific. So you have to be really focused and have really intense attention, but the force is light, like lifting up the middle of a spider web or using your fingers to close the petals of a flower. And then inhale and bring your knees in. And we're just going to do a little shoelace moment here. So be at the top of your yoga mat. And you want to bring your right knee on top of your left knee. And you can even face there for what we're going to do afterwards. But if you feel like you're just not getting everything into the right place, this is not an easy pose, especially if you're tight in the hips. One thing that will help is you can come up onto your knees and wiggle your knees together, cuddle them together, and then sit down. And it's like you have a little bit extra space. So did you see that, Laura? So I'm just on my tabletop here. And I'm wiggling my knees together. And then I sit down. Yeah. Take a nice full inhale. And with your exhale, bring your chin to your chest and start to slowly roll down. You may just bring your chin to your chest, or maybe you can bring your forehead to your knee. You might be able to bring your chin in front of your knee, or Alex, you can always bring your chest down to your knee. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. So this is quite an intense hip posture. So notice, do you need to really remind yourself to relax your shoulders or your jaw or your face? So one of the ways we can practice becoming more experienced with integrating things is to again and again throughout your day, throughout your practice, bring your attention to your heart. Bring your attention to feelings. Bring your attention to your capacity to love. You can imagine our mind, our brain has been trained to separate things, to make distinctions. Absolutely critical. We totally need this. But we've like overworked it to the point where we put our trust in experts above ourselves. And we forget to refer to our own wisdom that we carry in our bodies, that we carry in our daily lives. So when we concentrate and bring ourselves down to the level of feeling, the level of heart, it takes effort to stay awake there. It takes effort to sit with uncomfortable feelings there, maybe. But you will notice that you have an innate drive that recognizes the holism of your own being, the holism of the earth, the holism of humanity, even the holism of the whole universe. That's actually already part of us. It's not a foreign thing. It's not a foreign element. A lot of our schooling is kept pushing us to stay in our thinking. And now I think more than ever, we need schooling in our feeling. Speaking of feelings, I know this posture starts to get intense as you stay. Take another full inhale with your exhale, just side out through your mouth. Then inhale, roll up and bring your hands forward. And you're gonna walk yourself back on your knees like this. How would you say that? All the way to the back of your yoga mat. This isn't a very effective walk. We don't do this for, speed, except for Isabel, you already got there. All right, and then you should end with your left knee on top of your right knee, because we are going to do both sides today. And maybe if you're feeling particularly generous, there's enough space to sit down on the yoga mat. Exactly. Wiggle around. Perfect your pose for you. Lift up tall. And then with your exhale, roll down. So maybe it's just dropping your chin to your chest, maybe your chest to your knees, or somewhere in between. The truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and fall apart. They come together and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. These words are from Pema Chodron. So one of the cool things about taking into your imagination, this idea of inside of you, you already have this image of holism, of being complete and full, of humanity being one, of even being one with the earth and one with the universe. And it's through this trust or faith or space that I am convinced that my inner life makes a difference on the world. So as I strive to become more loving and kind, there's more capacity for that in the world. As I strive to sit with suffering, to witness suffering, it's not just my suffering I'm sitting with, I'm connected to the world. I'm connected to generations of ancestry of this physical body. So in my yin practice, I want to bring together, grief and relief, joy and sorrow. And then as we climb into our more fiery practice, I want to fortify those powers in me that allow me to stand up for what I believe in, what I want to see in the world. And then inhale, roll up. And if you somehow snuck to the middle of your mat, slide back to the back so you're not cheating that side. And then come up onto your knees. And I don't know what this is called. It's some sort of crawl. We probably have a name for it. It's like a clown crawl. Imagine if you had really big feet. I don't know. And then come all the way, for most of you, to the front of your mat. And then come into toes pose for our ohms. So with your toes tucked under, I want you to come into a mudra here. And this is, I'm lifting it up to show you. My thumbs are connected all through the base of my palm and my pinkies are connected. And then I'm reaching my fingers open. So my hands create like a cup or a blossom. And then I bring my thumbs to my breastbone or to my body, really. And keep efforting with your fingertips, efforting your fingers open. So the pinky side of your hands are also touching, like glued together. Close your eyes and let's sound 3 ohms. Empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Ah. 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 And then release your hands down, shake them out, and you got it. Lift up off of your heels and then slap your feet out. And then rock back and stretch the tops of your feet. And then rock forward into a comfortable, who says comfortable? Who does a comfortable tabletop? But just rock forward into a tabletop. It can be not so comfortable. And turn your fingers back to point towards your knees. And just do some little movement here, maybe some circles. And then spin your fingers the other way. Extend them inward again towards you. And again, do a little bit of little circles, just kind of warming up your wrists. And that's nice too. You can also do the backs of your hands if you haven't gotten there already. Half of you did. Great. And now take your right foot and you're going to bring your right foot lined up with your right hand. I want to have it coming straight out with my foot on the ground. And then I'm going to make circles with my hips. And don't worry, you can't really do it too wrong. You're just trying to warm up your hip area here. And then switch sides. Bring your right knee back, stretch your left leg out. Making circles with your hips. Very nice. Great. And then, okay, this is why I said comfortable tabletop. Come back to a comfortable tabletop. I just remembered I used to sleep on a table for a little while. It was awesome. All right. Now, you're gonna tuck your toes under and then pull your lower belly in and just hover your knees. Yep. Now, great. Now see if you can take your right hand and just tap your right shoulder. Try not to move anything else. And then your left hand. And then your right hand. And then left hand. It's nearly like the merengue. Now take it one more time. Doop, doop. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees a little bit, let your butt cheeks reach up for the heavens. I mean, they nearly look like little clouds. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward and lightly step or hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel your chest broadening. Exhale, release and bow down. Let your head drop. Push down with your feet. Rise up, roll up, stretch your arms up to the sky. And with your exhale, come to Samasthiti. Relax your hands down. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow forward, softening your knees. Let your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel your chest broadening and expanding here. And then step back to plank. Shift forward to your tippy toes and lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, low cobra. Active legs, bent elbows. Exhale, come to the ground. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, release down. Now take your hands wide and inhale one more low cobra. Elbows, hands wide, very nice. Exhale, release down. And then push yourself back to your knees to child's pose. And with your exhale, find downward facing dog. Let your knees be soft. Feel your hands pushing down and forward, your feet, the balls of your toes pushing down and back, your heels dropping. Notice with your knees bent, you can get a little bit more active in your legs. Take another full inhale, empty your breath all the way. Look forward and lightly hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet, rise up tall, stretch up high. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, sweep chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And now flex and point your toes a couple of times. Very nice. Now make some circles with your ankle. Yep. ankle. And then bend and straighten your leg a couple of times, maybe even kicking yourself in the butt. I don't know why, it's oddly satisfying for me. And then bend your knee and let your hips spin open, keeping your foot active. Feel that you're reaching your right heel towards your right buttocks. Lovingly pull your right armpit towards your left ankle. If you want to challenge, you can reach up and just touch the right foot with your left hand. It's really hard. Very good. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow. To your right elbow, to your left elbow, and up into the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, relax your right leg down. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. Bend and flex and point your toes a couple of times. Point and flex, like you were in a dance class. Oh yeah. And then make some circles with your ankles. Stretch out your toes. And then bend and straighten your leg a couple times, maybe kicking yourself on the left buttocks. It's always easier when you do it, not somebody else. And then bend your knee, flex your foot, and let your hips spin open as you energetically pull your left armpit towards your right ankle. Your right heel's dropping to the ground, and yes, you got it, Izzy. If you want the challenge here, feel your abdominals engage and just tap your left foot with your right hand. Beautiful, nicely done. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, bring your left knee to your right elbow, to your left, to your right, and up into the air. Stretch it up, three-legged dog. Very nice, Allie. And with your exhale, relax your leg down. Soften your knees, pull your hips up and back. Imagine you're a slingshot being loaded because you're lethal. And then hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet, roll all the way up, stretch up tall, and with your exhale, Samastitihi. Now drop down low enough that your fingertips can touch the ground. And then imagine you have someone actually just holding your hips there, and then lift up your arms. Find the weight in your heels. Notice you can lift up your toes and stretch them out. Feel you're squeezing into your lower back. You want to look like you're about to sit on the chair more than a bar stool. So see if you can get your hips to drop while your heart stays where it is. Take another full inhale, stretch your beautiful arms. Yes. And with your exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, sweep chaturanga this time. Inhale, upward facing dog. Your thighs never touch the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, bend your knee and let your hips spin open. Inhale here. Exhale, twist open a little bit more. Inhale here. And then with your exhale, take your right knee to your left elbow. To your right elbow. To your left elbow. And three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee forward. Step your foot next to your thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. Your back heel's lifted. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. So lowering down shoulders and elbows the same height in your chaturanga, looking forward. Inhale, upward facing dog, beautiful pair. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your gorgeous left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. So you want to let your hips spin without everything else getting jacked up. Take another inhale here. And with your exhale, tap your left knee to your right elbow, to your left elbow, to the right elbow. And inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, bring your knee forward and step your left foot next to your left thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Close your eyes for just a moment and notice if you have the same amount of weight in your hands and your feet. If you have more weight in your hands, bend your knees a little bit more. It's very, very, I have never heard of someone having more weight in their legs. Do you? Take another full inhale, empty your breath all the way, and then walk or float your feet quietly up in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, move your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet, rise up tall, stretch up high. And with your exhale, Samastitihi. Bend your knees, drop your booty, inhale, Utkatasana. Let's take a couple breaths here. Sorry, that was like evil maniacal laugh. What I meant to say was, welcome, Frederica. So come into Utkatasana. We want to let your thighs burn. Lift up your toes, pull your belly in. Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float, exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Inhale here, and with your exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow. Cross your body to your right elbow. Oh yeah, and lift it up. Three-legged dog. We just went for the two. Exhale, step your right foot all the way forward and rise up, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale up to crescent lunge. And with your exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky, bend your knee, and let your hips spin open. Inhale here, and with your next exhale, bring your left knee to your right elbow. To your left elbow, and then inhale, three-legged dog. I think I like the three better. Exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, stay lifted, open arm twist to your left. Inhale up to crescent lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, sweet chaturanga, not dropping your head too soon, Isabel. Inhale, yes, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your knees be soft. Let your breath start to build some fire. So we know in ourselves, there's some things that we need to just relax into being included in ourselves, but there's other elements of us in the world that it takes real power to try to integrate, real active force. So if you notice as we start to get sweatier, maybe you're bumping up against your weaknesses or feeling a little challenged. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way and then walk or float your feet quietly in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Now bend your knees, darling. Drop your booty. Inhale, ooh, Katasana. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. I love the style. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lead with your heart. Exhale, downward. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, bend your knee. Let your hips spin open. Inhale here, and then exhale, tap your right knee to your left elbow, to your right elbow, to your left elbow. Oh gosh. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, step your foot far forward and rise up, crescent lunge. And let's breathe here. So we're going to take a little bit more time, which means that we want to refine our alignment. So arms reaching up, you want your hips squared forward. You want your arms extended, like you're trying to grow your nails longer. Now, bend your back knee just for a moment and tuck your tail, pull your lower belly in, and then staying this low, straighten through your back leg. Very nice. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. Thank you. Reach through your fingertips. Now get strong with your back leg. And now bend your back knee so it hovers above the yoga mat. You're gonna stay here. Oh yeah, this isn't easy. Life's not easy. So really find your inner forces. And some of them are energetic, but some of them are really like your inner forces, like squeeze your inner thighs together. See if you can engage your root lock here. Notice what a badass you are. Yes. And then inhale, crescent lunge, lengthening your left leg. That should feel good. And then exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then with your exhale, come into side angle variation. So you either have your hand on the floor or your elbow bent with your right elbow and your right knee. Beautiful. Now we're going to do a slight variation. You're going to reach underneath your right thigh with your right hand and reach behind you with your left hand. And instead of opening your chest up as we usually do in bound side angle, we're going to drop our head down to the ground for bound humble warrior. Yeah, the way we express love shows up in different ways, doesn't it? Notice if you can let go of your head. All right. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. With your exhale, take your left knee to your left elbow. To your right elbow, to your left elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Let's breathe here a little bit. So find the power in your legs. Feel that you're already squeezing your inner thighs together. You don't wait to the twist to do that. Engage your root lock. Stretch your arms out, even if you have to take them wider. Yes. Maybe be radical. Lift up the corners of your mouth. It might be more of a risk than your neutral face. Take another full inhale here. Then exhale, open arm twist to your left. Reach through your fingertips. Feel that you're lunging forward with your left knee and you're pushing back with your right heel. You can add interpretive dance movements if you want in your arms. That's absolutely your prerogative. And then just in case it's too easy and you're just having too much fun, bend your back knee and let it hover above the yoga mat. Oh yeah. It makes me feel like an Egyptian goddess here. So they must have had some really powerful mula bandhas. So squeeze your inner thighs, lift your root lock, and keep your attitude shiny. Take another full inhale. Exhale, then inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up warrior two. And then reverse your warrior and bring your elbow to, we did that, right? Yeah. Bring your elbow either onto your left knee or come into side angle with your left hand on the ground. You want to tuck your tail so your booty's underneath you. And you got it, Loda. And if you have like a strap, or maybe you just hang on to a t-shirt, if your hands don't quite reach, come into the bind here. So you're trying to get your bind to go more around your leg than you're in between your legs. And then instead of lifting your heart up, drop your head down for bound, humble warrior. All right, release your hands down to the inside of your left foot, your way, your style. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then take your feet a little bit wider and squat down and come into Malasana at the back of your yoga mat. Back of your yoga mat. Let your heart lift up. Let your shoulders come back behind you, supporting you. You want to feel your spine swinging like a pendulum. So hopefully we're starting to build a little heat. All right. So first, Pear, do you want to demonstrate? Could you lift up to bring your thighs about that way and walk to the back of your mat, would you? Great. Now bring your hips a little lower. Yay. Everybody join us. Lift your hips up, float your hands. And now you're going to stay this low and you're going to walk all the way to the front of your yoga mat. Pear's probably feeling this a lot because we did this yesterday. Find the weight in your butt. Oh yeah. And then walk back. And then drop down to goddess pose again. Bring your hands down on the ground and bring your knees high up into your armpits. Shift your weight forward and then maybe start to lift up 1 foot, maybe 2 feet. Big toes touching, pulling your heels towards your groin. And then you start to straighten your arms a little bit and look a little bit more forward. Nice, Akiko. There you are. That's beautiful. And then come back down, goddess pose. So we're at the back of our yoga mat. And this time we're going to stay low. And you're going to walk to the front of your yoga mat. This is totally yoga. And for those of you at the cafe, you're welcome. Great. So you're at the top of your yoga mat now. So do you know that sometimes birds like try to fly and they don't? They fall. So often they'll have to try again. That is if they survive the fall. So let's try this again. So you want to bring your knees into the backs of your armpits. And you want to imagine everything's kind of squeezing to the center. You're engaging your root lock. Now you bring your knees to the back. You keep your arms just a little bit bent. Bring one toe up, next one up. Try to bring your gaze forward. Try to straighten your arms a little bit more. Now, if you want, you can press up into handstand here. Yeah. And then exhale, sweet chaturanga. Some of us jump, some of us walk. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Inhale here. With your exhale, take your right knee to your left elbow, enjoy a push-up. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Now you should feel like a master. Do a push-up. Oh yes, I'm the boss. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, bring your right foot forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, you're gonna take your arms back and you're gonna fly into airplane. Beautiful. Take a full breath here. And then with your next inhale, step back, crescent lunge, just where we were. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Make fists and float into half moon, side moon. Flex your feet. Stretch your arms apart. Stay floating here for additional abdominal force. And then with your exhale, bring your left hand down. Bring your left hip to square. Keep your left leg lifting up and come into Ekapada Uttanasana, standing splits. So one hand at a time to your ankle. Really active in both of your legs. Yeah. And then release your hands down in front of you. Inhale, halfway lift. And with your exhale, one-legged chaturanga. Inhale, don't overthink it. Upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Now with your exhale, bring nothing. bring your left knee to your right elbow and try a push-up. This is the hard one. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Enjoy an easier push-up. Oh yeah. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, step your foot forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, fly forward into airplane. Not through the window though. Stretch through your fingertips. Get long. Take a full breath here. And then inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale up to center. Exhale, open up warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Make your hands into fists. And notice that you can then have more power to float into half moon. Yes, flex your top foot. If you feel like you're not using your abdominals, bring your foot more forward. If you feel like you're just using your glutes. And then with your exhale, bring your right hand down. Let your right leg stay lifted. Ekapada Uttanasana, standing splits. Try to step on the ceiling and notice the difference, or the sky. But notice the difference that believed effort makes in you. And then inhale, halfway lift. Don't overthink it. Exhale, one-footed chaturanga. You got this. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And with your exhale, jump your feet through your hands and come onto your butt. Nice, Alex. All right. Now lie onto your back and bend your knees. This time we're gonna have our knees bent with our feet on the floor. And feel your feet hip distance apart. Get strong with your feet, push your feet down, and inhale, lift up your hips. Exhale, roll them back down. Now, Frederica, bring your feet a little bit closer together, I think. And I can't see your feet, Leota, but I think your toes are pointing out, and I want you to point them in. All right, inhale, lift up your hips. I could have been wrong. I can't actually see your feet. And exhale, roll back down. So you want to really feel that the strength of pushing your feet down is what really is a fuel to lifting your hips up. Inhale, lift up your hips. And let's breathe here. So you can make the small adjustments. Are your feet too wide to be powerful? Maybe you need to step them in a little bit more. And if you're not sure, like experiment, see what the difference is. Notice. So for me, it's so, and maybe for you too, where you are, it's so strange to be in this quite peaceful life because I'm living out in the country. I'm not meeting a lot of people. And I live in Sweden, so I also don't meet that big of a variety of people. But I will tell you right today in my yoga practice, one of the things I kept coming to, especially in the fire, sweaty things, is like pushing through my own suffering as a way of showing solidarity, of like going where you're scared. So with your exhale, roll your hips back down. So you might choose a different mantra for you, but when I was doing my bicycles earlier, my mantra was Black Lives Matter. I don't know what you need your mantra to be, but that's what did it for me, that I was willing to go a little bit more, a little bit faster, a little bit more full on, because that's what we need right now. So stack your knees over your hips, flex your feet. It's really helpful to keep spreading your toes out. And you've probably done thousands of these over the years, but make them beautiful and wonderful. Bring your hands back behind your head. With your inhale, you're going to lift up your shoulders and bring your right elbow to your left knee, and you're going to straighten your right leg long. You know bicycles. Inhale, come to center. This is yoga slow bicycle. And bring your left elbow to your right knee. Inhale, come back to center. Now you can keep going at this pace, or you can go twice as fast, or 3 times as fast. You're on the clock. You got about 20 more seconds. Let it burn. Be at your edge. Be willing to meet your own fire inside of you. Coming down the home something or other. The last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bridge or wheel. Don't overthink it. You have the resistance in your body. I know you do, but just lift up. Bridge or wheel. So if you're in either of them, notice your feet. Isabel, turn your toes in a little bit. Feel your inner arms spinning towards your head. Feel like you're creating the dome of the sky, the arch of the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bridge or wheel. Bridge or wheel. Yeah. I know. So we get in our heads, we start to think, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Instead, I want you to feel, be brave at your edges, be brave where it's hard, where it's scary. You want to meet the fire with courage, with integrity. And think about what you're doing as supporting these forces in the world. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding. One more time. Get on your bicycle. You can do this. You don't want to, but you can do this. So pull your belly in, bend your knees, and get your bicycle going. Maybe you can go fast enough on your bike to get a little breeze going. Feel like you're keeping your toes spread, keeping your toes active. Go slow if you'd rather quit. Keep it going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, this next one we're going to do, and I'm going to give you options. You could do bridge or wheel, or you can roll back and roll forward and stretch your left leg up to the sky. Roll back, roll forward and stretch your right leg up into the sky. Roll back, roll forward, lose your microphone. Did you get that? Par's gonna show you now. It takes a little bit of momentum. So you do a roll and you come up into a standing split on one side. You do a roll and you come up into a standing split on the other side. It's really kind of fun, especially if you have the space. Keep it going. Remember, life's not easy, especially for a lot of other people. Are you okay? Do two more, one on each side. Or 3 more if that's where your balance is, or 5 more if you're ambitious. Oh yeah, beautiful Akiko. Nice bridge. Come to your edge and then come on to your back. Bend your knees, let your knees fall together, let your feet slide out. Did you get a little sweaty? Did you get a little fire going? Yes. You think that was enough? No comment. Beautiful. Just give one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Notice if you got sweaty, if you got a little breathless, if you got a little shook up. Notice if your own mantra helped you. All right, slide your feet in hip distance apart, and we're going to do eye of the needle. So bring your right ankle to the outside of your left knee. You can lovingly push your right knee away with your hand, and then thread your right arm in between your legs and grab onto the front of your left shin or the back of your left thigh. And you want to feel that you're letting your right knee drop away from you as you're pulling your left knee towards you. So this is very similar stretch to pigeon pose, but we're just doing this on our back. Feel both your shoulders down. You don't want to roll away from the twist, from the stretch. And then slide your right leg more over your left leg. And just let your knees drop to your left. Both of them. I didn't instruct you to twist your foot around your calf. I was just doing the top of the twisted root. But if you like to do that final twist on it, you're welcome to. Bring your knees up a little higher so your knees are lined with your hips. And maybe take a full breath in, and with your exhale, take your gaze to the ceiling or to the right or to the sky above you. Take a full breath in. With your exhale, sigh out. And then roll back to center. Place your feet on the ground, setting up for reclining eye of the needle pose. So have your left ankle to the outside of your knee. So the bony part of your ankle is sticking out on the right side of your right leg. Maybe push your left knee away with your left hand and then thread your left arm in between your legs and grab onto the front of your right shin or behind your right thigh. So you're flexing your left foot because your knee is at a 90 degrees, and the flexing of your foot protects your knee. But with this flex, you can still actively move your left knee away from you as you draw your right knee towards you. And then release your hand and slide your left knee over your right knee and just drop your knees to the right, taking your gaze to the left or just above you. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, just sigh out. So notice at the end of your practice how you're feeling. Notice the work of integration. Notice how you feel after you let yourself step towards the fiery edge. And then stretch yourself back to center. Reach your legs long. Maybe cover yourself with something. Let gravity have you. I don't see what happened to them. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe your nose. And then roll over onto your right hand side, hugging your knees to your chest, and just feel for a moment the vitality and the vibrancy in you. And then help yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. Feel the ground below you and lift up high above it. Just acknowledging that we weren't alone in this moment. And let's close the class with one final Om. Empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Ah. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Make some noise or give your partner a high five. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Pear, and thank you all for being here.